friends, my name is Dean Thompson and welcome to another Escape to Gaming. Today I'm going to do a special unboxing of Aliens Colonial Marines. This is a game that I've been very excited about getting and playing since last summer. In fact, I pre-ordered this collector's edition, I think like 6 months ago. So I've been very amped, and late last night I watched 5 glowing reviews of it from gamers that, were able to get it early, some in the UK or in apparently Australia. And they really enjoyed it for probably many of the same reasons that I will as well. So this is my unboxing. I'm anxious to install the game and to do a first impressions look at it in a little bit here. But first I thought I'd take the time and just go ahead and unbox this so you can see what this special collector's edition looks like. So I'm going to already cut the little plastic tab on the top, so I'm going to take the sleeve off. And you can see the box. Pretty cool. It looks kind of like an AC unit or vent or what have you. It's the bottom of it. And the top is really cool. A very nice packaging and pretty cool game overall by the looks of it here. Now this is a view of the back of the box. It's kind of a really cool little sleeve that has some interesting H.R. Giger aliens depicted on it, which looks really cool. And so I appreciate the extra time that went into this boxing design and a lot of the graphics. They get a wide, the special edition you get to play as Hicks, Apone, Hudson, and Drake. You get Ripley's flamethrower, additional Marine customization, probably for the multiplayer, I would imagine. And it's got this really cool kind of a firing range academy deal that I'm anxious to see what that is. The phase plasma rifle and the sonic electronic ball breakers, which looks really cool. And it looks like it has a lot of other cool stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and open the thing up and have a closer look. And I also picked up the strategy guide as well, because this is just a game that just kind of begs to get the strategy guide and to really dig into the maps and all that stuff. So let me go ahead and open this bad boy up. Here's the game itself. Just your typical Xbox 360 packaging. And let's see if I can pull this bad boy open. There we go. Here's the actual plastic packaging here, which is got kind of a diorama artwork built into it, which is pretty cool. This plastic off. Now, I'm not the type to save original packaging and all that. I usually just dig this stuff right out to enjoy it and savor it. It's got this really cool little freestanding deal, which is kind of neat, like a little diorama, which is kind of cool. So yeah, you can really see the detail in this bad boy. It has kind of an interesting look to, very detailed. This power loader from the Aliens film. Now, I actually worked for 20th Century Fox at the time. They were reshooting the ending of Alien 3, and some of my friends had done the set painting and standby painting on that. So as I had a pass at 20th Century Fox, I quite often would go in and watch them build and prepare the sets and did the final filming when they reshot the ending of Alien 3. So I've been a big fan of this franchise since day one. My dad took me in '79 to see the first one, which I saw a couple different times. It was really one of my first R-rated movies ever. And of course I loved the Aliens movie. And I have it on, on Blu-ray, and certainly enjoy everything that I've seen, including the special director's version of it. So this has been a big thing for me to wait for this to come out. I'm really happy with the quality on this thing. It just really looks detailed. It has kind of a wet look to the alien itself. They put some kind of a clear coat over it, which gives it a real shiny look, and it has these kind of iridescent colorations in it. It's really cool. Very well done. So this is, anyway, this is the little statuette that comes with it, which will be a permanent part of my set, as you can imagine. And quite anxious to see this bad boy all put together on my shelf. Now you also get some really cool patches that came with it, which is really neat. Just some nice little attention to detail that they did. And of course you get a couple special codes for some of the other elements for the firing range, as well as your special 4 characters that were authentic in the original Aliens film, which I think is really cool. Again, it's really nice that they were able to get the free licensing to add to the original story. And this is all sanctioned from 20th Century Fox, which actually allowed them to go into this sequel through the game and make this. So it comes with an interesting little photograph, kind of like a Polaroid of LV-426, the planet, which is pretty cool. And just a lot of little interesting tidbits, which always just kind of add a little depth to the overall adventure of diving into the Aliens games. Here are some interesting computer, teleprintouts. And what do we have here? There's an interesting little deal saying that you've graduated from the academy, which you can, fill it out and put it on your desk or your bulletin board or what have you. Be the face of your country. Interesting little poster that came with it. But this is really nice. This is one thing here I saw right off. It's kind of an architectural engineering vellum and blueprint of the actual spaceship, the Sephora, which is a starship that you'll be infiltrating the planet with, which I thought was really nicely done. So just a lot of nice little details. I have the Max Payne 3 special edition as well, and I really enjoy these kind of unboxings and the attention to detail that people put into these games and the time and love and care they put into it. They've been working on this, I think, for 5 years now, for a while, and so I know it's been highly anticipated. There's high expectations. Now, it already has received mixed reviews. I woke up to this morning to some more jaded reviews of it, where people are, disenchanted with the game, unfortunately, and that's they're entitled to their opinion. Some of them are professional reviewers; that's what they're paid for. So I can appreciate where they're coming from. They're under pressure to review it based off from people's public opinion and how they might perceive the game, and I understand that. Here's the box. Nothing out of the ordinary, just your typical Xbox 360 box. But again, Sega did this with 20th Century Fox, and I think it's really cool that this game finally came out and is materialized. Let's see what else we got here. We've got I got an interesting little spread here that kind of shows you controller configurations and a little bit of details on co-op and what have you, which is cool. This is another one, apparently. It's more of the same. Looks like they gave me 2 of these. Yeah, same thing. So, and you just get your standard disc. Aliens, which is nice. So, not a lot of frills as far as your the brochure. I mean, it is in color, which is very nice. I can certainly appreciate the fact that it's in color. And it's a little bit more substantial than many of the ones that we get, from Activision and EA today. I think it's good. Now, I love Gearbox. I'm a huge fan. I even was quite pleased with how Duke Nukem came out, for the most part, considering some of the problems with the game and what have you. So this is a very cool special collector's edition of this game, and I'm quite anxious to install the game and dive right into it. So I'm going to get on to my impressions next. So after I did my unboxing, I thought I'd take a little bit of time, put the game in. I always install my games first to try to get the best performance out of the game and the system. And I was really anxious to dive in. Now last night I went, right before I went to bed, I go, hey, I wonder if anyone else has, somehow got their hands on it. So I went and looked, and I found one negative take on it initially, kind of a sarcastic view of the game. And then I found actually 5 good reviews that people really liked it. And there were 2 of them out of the 5 that people pointed out a few things with the graphics, and a couple points of just little subtleties in the gameplay that they noticed. And they had mentioned maybe it's because there wasn't a lot of multiplayer activity yet, and maybe there's not, any kind of a day one patch for it, but there were some, bugs with the multiplayer. So I haven't played the multiplayer or the co-op yet, but it looks really good from what I've seen. Now I have the guide, and looked through a little bit of the guide just to kind of get a feel for what's going on with the multiplayer, and it looks like it actually could be fun. There's been some issues as to whether it's properly balanced between the aliens and the Marines, but it's yet to be seen. Now, a game like Aliens Colonial Marines, this is the kind of a game that I bought as a single-player campaign. It probably, from what I've kind of seen reading between the lines, is probably best for the single-player campaign. If you want kind of a really deep, immersive campaign that takes you into the whole canon of the Alien series, I don't think you really could go wrong. So I'm real happy with what I've seen. I've only played an hour. I think I picked up like 4 fairly easy achievements early on in the game, but just enough to kind of see how it is. I don't want to play too much more of it, because even with my shades closed in the daytime, the back of my house is filled with sun, and it's really hard for me to get into that immersion, almost like being in a theater with all the lights on. So this is a game I want to savor tonight. Actually, I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it's a great game. I'm very happy with what they did so far from what I've seen with the story and the characters. It's very immersive. Using the licensed sound design and authentic music from the Aliens franchise has really made it a wonderful, very intense game. It almost makes up for any of the graphical issues. Now, I'm going to mention the elephant in the room, which is the graphics. Already a couple of mainstream reviews have picked it apart because of the graphics, and obviously there's a high expectations on a game like this, even from myself, being a huge Aliens fan and a 20th Century Fox science fiction movie fan as well. So I can validate some of the observations that I've heard on the graphics. There was a little bit of screen tearing, and there's some low-res textures on some of the background elements. When you're looking at like some lockers or boxes or some computer desks, things like that, it's not as incredibly detailed like you'd see at Visceral Games with Dead Space 3, let's say, or even Max Payne 3. Or Crisis 3, for that matter, from what I've seen of it, which really looks incredible. So, and again, as an artist and a right-brain person, I love those visual elements and things that make games just look absolutely perfect. This game isn't that kind of a game, but it doesn't mean the graphics are bad. I think that actually the graphics go hand in hand with a game that's a throwback to an 80s movie series. Aliens was actually made in the 80s. And it kind of works well with that. I think if it was like a brand new movie that just came out, a year or two ago, and they had these graphics, it might be more of an issue. But because everything's kind of done in that stylized, simplistic 80s look, the way a lot of spaceships were designed back then, and science fiction films, I think it actually works well. So it may be an issue for some people, like many other games that we see, and that's unfortunate. If you can't find it within your imagination to appreciate a good game like this for what it is, and for the wonderful gameplay that it has. Now, actually, the detail on the aliens themselves and the way they work towards you getting across the room, up on the walls and the ceiling, they really glide and move very gracefully. And it's very much like the film, and they really captured that down good. Man, when they get up close, it's really intense. So overall, it's good. It's not as realistic as watching a movie naturally, and if you have to try to separate those kind of expectations out of it. But I think it's a great game. I'm anxious to play more, and I certainly am going to be doing a full review of it. But my initial impressions are it's a wonderful game. I'm very happy I got it. I'm very happy that Gearbox and Randy Pitchford got behind this game and produced it and made it, because this is the best Alien game yet. Now, I've actually played 2 Alien games on the Commodore 64. The very first one, Alien, and then Aliens a little bit later. I think it came out in '87, the second one. And those games were tough. Man, they were really hard. I think I finished Aliens, the second one on the C64. The first one I could never finish. It was just grindingly tough. But I mean, I loved the game so much, I just kept pushing forward. And then later I played one on the PS1 and loved the Aliens game on that one. And I think there was like an Alien 3 Incarnation, which I played, and then I think an arcade game as well. So I've been a huge fan of this Aliens franchise and been highly awaiting this more than most people. So to me, I love it. As a fan, I think it's a fantastic game. I was actually felt privileged to even be a part of the, what was going on at the time when they did the Aliens 3 movie when I worked for 20th Century Fox, even though I didn't actually get, unfortunately, to paint any of the sets. Having my buds work on it, and then, they would come in and show me with great pride what they did. So there's a lot of people at Gearbox and people at 20th Century Fox behind the scenes that went into making this franchise so incredible and epic for everybody to enjoy. And I'm very thankful that it's here. So my impression is, if you love Aliens and you want to roll your sleeves up, maybe you're sitting on the fence, don't hesitate. This is a fantastic game. Don't listen to people that are either jaded or maybe they've played too many games and they can't see the forest through the trees anymore. And I think it's unfortunate. I think some of the people, even the mainstream reviewers, they probably like the game, but they're afraid because they know how everyone's going to pick it apart for the graphics and elements like that. So they don't want to be hated, and so they try to be more diplomatic and tell people perhaps what they want to hear. And that's what I sense with this game, with some of the reviews, because all of the people that I've seen, the natural-born gamers that have played the game and got their hands on it early, love it. And I mean, I've seen some raving reviews. Very enthusiastic people love this game. So give it a chance, and I think you'll really be happy. If it really bothers you to pay $60 for something you're not sure about, take the time to watch a couple other reviews. Don't just watch one or two mainstream reviews. Take the time, scope it all out, do the research for yourself. You may see other people's point of view through their lenses and see this game could be perfect for you. If you're still a little unsure, then you wait for the price to drop, and I'm sure it probably will over time. So I'm very happy I paid full price. In fact, I paid more than that because I got a collector's edition plus the book, so it was fairly costly for me. But I love the game, and I'm going to be picking it up from my friend Frank as well pretty soon. So, I'll pay, again, full price for it. I have no issues with it whatsoever. So I encourage you to get the game, especially if you're an Aliens fan. So thanks again for watching, and enjoy your games. And enjoy Aliens Colonial Marines. This really is an awesome game. Thanks.